Okay, hello everyone, Clarke Towson here. I'm the CEO of INTJ Billing. In this video today, I want to talk about some of the goals that I have for here in Thailand for this year, 2023. By making one's goals public, other people who care know about the goals, and this can help to attract people to my open source project, Bitcoin is for Everyone. It is an open source project and I do welcome contributions from people. Goal. I want to set up BitPay Bitcoin hot wallets on every Thai bar girl's phone in Soi 6 and Soi 6.1, as well as set up BTC Pay hosted Bitcoin hot wallets with Lightning Network capability on my company INTJ Billings infrastructure for every Thai bar girl in Soi 6 and Soi 6.1. That is my number one most important goal to achieve here this year in 2023. Now remember that a BitPay Bitcoin hot wallet is a digital wallet that's used to store, send, and receive Bitcoin. It's called a hot wallet because it's connected to the internet as opposed to a cold wallet, which is not connected to the internet and is considered more secure. BTC Pay Server, of course, is BTC Pay Server. It's an open source self-hosted payment processor for Bitcoin. It allows merchants, in my case, for this project, merchants are the bar girls in Soi 6, enables them to accept payments in Bitcoin without the need for a third-party processor. Essentially, INTJ Billing is, I guess, acting as the third-party payment processor, but clubbing together with the bars and the bar girls. INTJ Billing effectively, as I said, is the third party, but because I'm working so closely with the industry as a team, we can effectively say that we're our own payments company. And that's what BTC Pay gives anyone the ability to do, to set up as their own payments company. BTC Pay Server has a built-in hot wallet feature that allows users to store, send, and receive Bitcoin. Because it's open source and self-hosted, it gives the girls more control and autonomy over their funds compared to a third-party payment processor like BitPay. And this is, of course, important given the industry that we're in over here in Pattaya, Thailand. Now, of course, INTJ Billing, my company, is hosting the BTC Pay server on my infrastructure. As I'm a friendly entity who loves Thailand, loves Pattaya, and loves Soi 6, and I'm here on the ground, this has advantages for the bar girls and the bar owners, as they don't have to deal with a distant payment company that sits outside of the industry. So it's a very important consideration, right? I'm not a payment company that sits outside the industry. I'm payment companies come and embrace the industry and said, let's work together. And remember, this is a pioneering first for the industry in that we're our own payments provider. So the bar girls are, in effect, future clients of INTJ Billing, and I'll help them with all things Bitcoin. So I've had some t-shirts made up on screen now. Got Mr. Bitcoin on the front of them. Of course, that's my nickname that I've come up with for myself here in Pattaya, Thailand. I think working with the designer who made up the shirts, she said, look, just have the most important part on the front. So Mr. Bitcoin, that's all I want to be known by the bar girls. And I think that, these shirts, having Mr. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin logo, the INTJ logo on the back, and the BTC Pay logo on the back of some of them, and my slogan, Bitcoin is for everyone, I think that's everything that I want to get across to the girls. So being seen in Soi 6 wearing the shirt, instantly people can recognize me and know what I'm about. All right. So I'll store the girls' seed phrases for the BitPay wallets on their phones securely at Siam Secure. That's another goal for this year, to get that custody service operating. Goal, I want to work with established players in Soy 6, including the Nightwish Group, to begin with, and then the rest of the bars in the Soy, and form a close collective and a monopoly on the Bitcoin hot wallets for the girls, and then create a moat around us for when the time is right to launch as a business. Of course, there's things I have to do before launching as a business and before turning this concept into a business. Right? It's quite a lot of things I've got to do that I'm continuously working through. I'm working through this year, right, to achieve. And then, of course, we have to wait for some of the legislation in Thailand to become more friendly as well, and that's okay. I've got time. I've got time on my hands. Now, with the moat around the business, that closes the door to every Johnny-come-lately altcoin scammer, of which I'm maintaining a close watch over Soy 6 in particular to make sure that the crypto scammers are kept firmly at arm's length. All right. My job has been made a lot more difficult, I might add, due to crypto scammers and their Ponzi dreams. And Thailand, unfortunately, seems to attract some of these characters, none of which are advocating specifically and exclusively for Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and empowering the bar industry with a self-hosted BTC Pay server, right? It's been quite irritating, I must say, having to explain carefully to people that I'm not here to pitch them on crypto, right? So this comes up time and time again from people. I think they're used to having people in this environment pitch them on some fucking crypto project or the other, right? So their guards are up, and their guards should be up as well, right? Their guards should be up when it comes to that sort of stuff, right? And it's been quite irritating, as I said, having to explain myself. I'm not here to do that, to pitch them on crypto projects. It's just, it has been very, very frustrating. My project is about Bitcoin and specifically using Bitcoin for remittance payments, right? Remittance payments, and empowering the bar owners for the first time ever so that we can be our own payments company. My project, Bitcoin is for Everyone, is well past the pitch stage. It's a working system, right? Works, it's out there. Hasn't been officially launched yet into the market, but it is working and it is out there, right? People know about it, right? What really needs is for me to scale it up, working alongside the bar owners and wait for the right time to officially launch it, right? Officially launch it. What does that mean? It means making sure everything is in place, right? Thai company, Thai work permits, Thai business visa, legislation in Thailand, waiting for the time for that to be right, and various other things in order to turn the concept into a business, right? I want to make sure that I do the right thing. That's very, very important to me, doing the right thing and making sure that I don't do the wrong thing, right? And obviously, being at the cutting edge of technology, technology always advances ahead of legislation, right? So that's why it creates these types of opportunities when technologists like me understand that, okay, we've got a new paradigm, or the existing paradigm has changed. The existing legislation is not fit for purpose, but it is the law. You can't go ahead and break the law. So that's not what I'm proposing, but I'm saying that we get all our ducks in a row and make sure that we get everything set up correctly first, in anticipation that the law will change because of technology. Should I use the word force the change? Technology forces the change, right? As legislators say, oh, hang on a second, we've got an important new piece of technology that's come out and our existing legislation is not fit for purpose anymore. Things need to change. The lawyers get involved, government people get involved, sit around the table, they discuss, right, well, how are we going to change this law to be open and permissive to the industry, that burgeoning industry that can grow up around this legislation. In the United States, of course, Section 230, what happened back in the day when the internet was first getting established, important laws were being set for that to make sure that the industry wasn't wasn't hobbled, right? And that the innovation didn't go overseas. Very, very important. Now, I'm bringing together a group of bar owners in a red light district like Soi 6 Pattaya to form a team for a common purpose, common goal. Such as setting up Bitcoin hot wallets for the girls that work in the bars is, of course, very challenging, right? Very challenging. I think us foreigners come over to Thailand because we're looking for more freedom, more autonomy, less corporate control, right? We want our freedom, we want to do our own thing, and so on. So dealing with people who are business people who are very independently minded and very much interested in their freedom, okay, it makes it even more difficult to try to achieve something like this. But what I'm saying is, hey, I'm one of you, right? I'm one of us, right? I feel the same about my freedom when it comes to all that stuff back home in the Western world, which I won't go too much more into. But how am I going about this, right? How am I going about this, trying to achieve this, this goal, bring everyone together? So networking, I'm reaching out to bar owners individually and building relationships with them, attending local events and gatherings where I think that I can add value, making myself known as a reliable and as a trustworthy resource for information about Bitcoin and BTC Pay server, and also making my other skills known as well. My skill set, of course, is not just Bitcoin. There's a lot of stuff that I can help with IT-wise. Provide a deep level of expertise and value on, given my background in computer science, right? And my expertise working in supercomputing. So when you've worked on things that I've worked on, everything else in IT becomes quite trivial to achieve in comparison, right? There's very little stuff in IT that that is really going to challenge me to the level of what I was challenged when I was working in supercomputing. Education. I'm providing information and resources about the benefits of using Bitcoin and BTC Pay server and how it can help bars with their business. Particularly interested in helping to educate the bar girls in Soi 6 about Bitcoin. They are, of course, exceptionally fast learners when it comes to money, right? Exceptionally fast learners when it comes to money. And I think because of that, if we put that up as not as a strategic goal, but as something to keep firmly in mind, right? I think everything else can stem from that, okay? When it comes to the education part. Partnerships and incentives. I'm offering to work with the bar owners, helping them to see the benefits for themselves of BTC Pay server and what's now possible for us to achieve with Bitcoin hot wallets for their girls, showing them how it can improve their business by giving them a percentage of the remittance payments sent to the girls by men from countries around the world, right? Collaboration. I'm encouraging the bar owners to collaborate and share ideas and to work together to solve the challenges that arise. Of course, technology projects, there's always going to be challenges that arise. So if I'm able to bring everyone together and work as a team, right, on this goal, we can create that moat, right? That moat around the business to protect our market position and profitability, right? So, I mean, think about it. In Soi 6, there's an existing group of business owners. Every one of those bars is owned either by a group who's got control of a lot of bars, like the Nightwish Group, or other people, other business people within the Soi who own individual bars, may own one or two. That's the situation at the moment, about bringing people together, right? Highlighting the opportunity, working as a team, right? Goal, to work in what is a fringe niche market, but a market which, because of the industry it's in, gives opportunity to develop censorship-resistant systems that ensure freedom of speech and freedom in payments and money. That's my primary interest. I mean, people think that I'm just all about Bitcoin, but, and of course, this Bitcoin project, that's mostly what I've been talking about, but my primary interest is in censorship-resistant computing, okay, and censorship-resistant technologies in general, and how they can be used within markets which have problems, right? Like the market over here in Thailand, because of the high-risk nature, I guess, of sex work and the non-advertiser-friendly nature of sex work and the various other issues that crop up. That's primarily my interest, right? Censorship-resistant technologies. And that includes censorship-resistant money, right? So the Bitcoin part is just a part of an overall whole, which I'm very, very much interested in. Right? Now, one thing to keep in mind is that in 2023, we're in an era where a precedent, right, has not yet been set for BTC Pay and becoming your own payments company, right? Some of you, those of you who are old enough to know about, there was a case in the United States, The People versus Larry Flynt. Now, there was a movie made about that case, and it was a particularly important case in law because it dealt with the issue of freedom of speech and the limits of what can be considered offensive or obscene. The Supreme Court ultimately ruled in favor of Flynt, saying that even offensive speech is protected under the First Amendment unless it meets the legal standard of obscenity. Right? Remember that Larry Flynt was the owner and publisher of Hustler magazine. Right? And this ruling established a precedent for protecting free speech, even when it may be considered offensive or distasteful by some. Right? Now, you can think of money as a language. Andreas Antonopoulos, the computer scientist and Bitcoin educator, he has been known to talk about money as a language in a number of his speeches and in his books. I think that we're heading into a future where, because of technology like BTC Pay, which empowers anyone to be their own payments company, that regulators will need to create new legislation that will affect end user businesses that decide to use this technology to empower themselves when it comes to payments. Remember that as of the moment, generally speaking, KYC, Know Your Customer, and AML, anti-money laundering, rules and regulations does not apply to end user businesses that use BTC Pay, but it does apply to third-party payment companies, right? So it would have been very difficult to imagine that technology would one day come along to enable anyone to be their own payments company, yet here we are. So if you think about Soy 6, for example, you've got the bars in the soy, some of which are owned by a group, like the Nightwish Group's got control of quite a number of bars there. And then you've got individual bar owners. One way I could do this work is to set up individual BTC Pay servers, right, for each of the bars. So, right, you're all in control of these servers. They're your servers, and they're owned by you. I'm just the administrator. And that way, KYC, AML wouldn't apply. But as a third-party payment company with one BTC Pay server that's looking to support all of the bars within the soy, that KYC and AML regulation will apply to INTJ billing. Now, I'm not looking to get around any of that, right? I want to do what's best for the bar girls and for the bar owners and for the industry as a whole. I think, even though I don't like KYC, and I think KYC is a big potential security risk, and of course, I have taken as many precautions as possible when it comes to the storage of customer data, right? History is replete with many examples of companies who have lost user data, been hacked, and so on, right? As a technologist, a person who is a Linux expert, I've taken extreme cautions when it comes to that. I will be doing KYC, and I know that it is controversial amongst some circles. Of course, Eric Voorhees over at Shapeshift, he created an autonomous organization, a DAO, distributed autonomous organization, where he dissolved his company because he really didn't want to do KYC. I don't think that that's appropriate for this opportunity over here, although I have closely followed Eric Voorhees' work. I just think the situation here is we do need to do that KYC, and it's a necessary evil, so to speak, right? Yeah, necessary evil. Goal, to gain control of all the Bitcoin payments in SOI 6 and make a percentage fee from every remittance payment, every transaction sent from the young, up-and-coming, soon-to-be Thailand travelling Western men, right, to their bar girl friends, with a fee to be shared with the bars, creating a brand new revenue stream for them, right? Brand new revenue stream for the bars. Young, up-and-coming, soon-to-be Thailand travelling men, not the current crop. I think it's really important that I emphasize that the service that I'm creating, it's not for the people here in Pattaya who are going into the bars. Sure, there might be some people who go into the bars, maybe younger guys who, you know, of course, it starts there when they come over here and they hook up with a bar girl, they establish that connection. When they go back to the Western world and they're dreaming of their time in Thailand and the requests for money are coming in, and then they can send their favorite bar girl some money as a remittance payment. It will be the younger guys, right, that the service will appeal to. In general, it'll be the younger guys. There will be cases, of course, where the older guys will be forced to use the service, not because of anything that I've done, or because the service. But what will happen is, you know, I've had clients in the past, and you know, this whole idea wasn't actually mine. It came from one of my clients who needed to send remittance payments to Africa, and the only way that it could be done was using Bitcoin. Due to issues that cropped up over at that time, I think it was about 2018, and the payments had to be made in Bitcoin. So one of my clients, an older gentleman, did not understand Bitcoin, didn't want to use it, had no idea how to use it, needed someone as a guide, reached out to me after I ran some ads on Google search, saw my business, contacted me, he came over, we sat down together, I figured out what his needs were, and then we sent the Bitcoin to his friends in Ghana, right? So, of course, a situation like that could occur over here in Pattaya, Thailand. If there's an issue with payment providers like Western Union, TransferWise, and the like, or if a democratic uprising goes on, that sort of stuff, then this service comes to the fore. So it's important to recognize that never before in history has it been possible for the bars to take control of remittance payments to the girls. We know full well how much money the girls can make via these payments for their sponsors. The bar owners, the bar managers see it all the time, right? Western Union and the other remittance companies had a stranglehold on the market until very recently. It's almost unthinkable that we would reach a stage where the bars themselves would gain the power over remittance payments. Yet here we are, right? Yet here we are. Goal, to open source most of my Bitcoin is for everyone material and make it available right here on this YouTube channel of mine, as well as the resulting code, okay, over on my website, the white paper on my website, and any procedures that I come up with, I should say the procedures I've come up with for running as a business. I'm going to open source most of those as well, right? Of course, not everything will be open source, but you know, there are aspects of the business that have to be kept under lock and key and secret. But there's a lot of stuff that I can do here, which I can open source, and I think it's better for everyone, right? So, I mean, there's several benefits of open source projects. First, of course, is accessibility. Open source projects are freely available to anyone, which means that anyone can access, use, and modify the source code. There's a lot of scripts that I've created that you know, I'm making available on my website. I do have a GitHub. I've been a bit lax in doing work over there on my GitHub, but of course, over time, that GitHub of mine will contain a lot more code. Collaboration. Open source projects allow for a community of developers to work together on a project, which can lead to faster development and more robust features. And of course, once we've already had one Lightning node operator that I met in Soy 6, which I made a video with. So we have more people who come on board and start contributing. That GitHub page of mine will have to obviously be expanded and give them access to it. Transparency. The open nature of the project allows for transparency in the development process, which can build trust with users and contributors. Flexibility. Open source projects can be customized and adapted to suit the needs of different users, which can be beneficial for businesses and organizations. Cost. Open source projects are typically free to use, which can lower the costs associated with software development and deployment. Innovation. Open source projects can lead to the development of new and innovative technologies as developers can build upon the work of others in the community. Of course, looking at things from a high level, Pattaya, Thailand, whilst it's known for the sex industry, has a big red light environment in Soy 6. There are other red light environments located around the world. There's quite a few of them. In India, in Kolkata, for instance, there's a large red light environment that's got over 16,000 sex workers. Taking a top-level view of the red light environments around the world, there are so many of them that can benefit from this work, right? Because it is leading-edge work, and I'm putting it all out there as an open source project. There'll be other technologists, just like myself, who will step up to the plate and want to provide services within those environments. Goal: to attract potential acquirers interested in the technology and or the market and doing things under their own branding and ownership. There are several factors that can make a small IT company attractive to a larger acquirer, of course. Firstly, strong technology or product. A small IT company with a strong technology or product can be an attractive acquisition target for a larger company looking to expand its offerings or gain a competitive edge. Experienced team. A small IT company with a talented and experienced team can be attractive to a larger company looking to acquire talent and expertise. Strong customer base. A small IT company with a strong customer base can be attractive to a larger company looking to expand its customer reach or gain access to new markets. Complementary services or products. A small IT company that offers services or products that complement those of a larger company can be an attractive acquisition target. Synergies. Small IT company that can be integrated into a larger company in a way that creates cost savings or revenue growth can be attractive to a larger company. Strategic fit. A small IT company that aligns with a larger company's strategic goals or vision can be an attractive acquisition target. Valuable intellectual property. A small IT company that owns patents, trademarks, or other valuable IP can be an attractive acquisition target for a larger company looking to protect its own IP, right? I think that's, if you think about Western Union, Western Union is going to have to start looking around for acquisitions, in particular, Lightning Network specific startups, to help protect their own IP or add to their IP, to add Lightning Network specific services to their product offerings. My company, INTJ Billing, of course, is building on top of the Bitcoin Lightning Network. All the custom scripts and procedures and everything else, right? Everything else, so much work, right? Everything else that goes into making all this work, that's called intellectual property, right? And that, of course, has value, and also the number of users that I'm able to get on my platform has value. I think it's important to emphasize that many acquirers, right, when they look at an IT company, they look at, okay, how many users does it have? Users are a very good metric. They're a very good metric because if you've created a service offering and you've attracted a whole lot of users, it shows that your service offering has value, right? And of course, if you've created a service offering and it hasn't attracted a whole lot of users, that can still be valuable as well. Even within failure, there's a whole lot of value that's created. I think this is particularly of note not just within IT startups, but over in the medical field and in biotech, places like that. We have to remember that some of the best innovations throughout history have been accidental, and there's been a whole lot of work that's gone on. Penicillin was one great example of that. Created a massive difference to the world, right? So somebody's working on something, not that specific thing, but they're doing a lot of effort. They stumble across something, they go in that direction, and they open up a whole new market, right? So this is stuff that can happen with projects like this, and when you put your ideas and your goals out into the world, right? Yeah. Now, of course, the other thing is there are venture capitalists out there, right? This is the other thing. Venture capitalists that are interested in seeing Bitcoin succeed. Some of them are interested in Hyperbitcoinization, right? And I know a few of them are watching my little project here in Pattaya with some interest. So shout out to you VCs who are watching my videos. I know there's a few of you based on my activities over on Twitter as well, right? Some, a couple of you have gotten in contact with me because you've seen the opportunity. So whilst the market I'm focused on is not suitable for most VCs, right? Smaller niche VCs with an interest in both Bitcoin and Thailand may be a good fit for, right? Goal, to be seen, to be educating, to be seen and to be educating. So doing the thing as well as being seen to be doing the thing. Educating the bar girls enough so that they understand it. They understand enough to be able to accept Bitcoin and to come to INTJ billing, Mr. Bitcoin, to convert that Bitcoin to Thai baht for them. So remember, that's the Bitcoin sent to them from men in the Western world and other countries of the world as a remittance payment. Now, there are several benefits to educating Thai sex workers about Bitcoin, even though I know to some of you watching this video, some of you here in this environment in Pattaya, Thailand, I won't say you think I'm crazy, but I think you've been there, you've done that, or you've been there, you've tried that. You know that it can be a very frustrating experience, and you know it can be very hard work. But I think when it comes to money and receiving more money from their sponsors, I think bar girls will be all ears, right? Of course, the benefits are financial empowerment. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that allows for peer-to-peer transactions, which can give sex workers more control over their financial transactions and reduce their dependence on intermediaries such as banks and credit card companies. Financial privacy. Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a public ledger, but the identity of the users is not revealed. Remember, Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous. This feature can help sex workers protect their financial privacy and avoid discrimination. Protection against fraud. Bitcoin transactions are irreversible, which can protect sex workers from fraud or chargebacks. Protection against theft. Bitcoin can be stored in a digital wallet, which can protect the funds from theft or loss, right? Number 5, access to global markets. Bitcoin allows for easy, fast, and cheap international transactions, which can help sex workers expand their customer base and increase their income. This is a really big one, right? Access to global markets, and Bitcoin being is not being a specific. It's not specific to any one country, right? It's a global currency. It's the world's first world currency, if you will. It's not tied to government, not tied to their fiat system. Number 6, increase access to financial services. Bitcoin can help sex workers access financial services that may not be available to them otherwise. Right? I guess INTJ billing is an example of such a service that I'm building, right? Because Bitcoin enables the bar girls to be their own bank and own payment processor, with me working alongside them, right? Side by side, together with them, right? Because this is the first time somebody's done that, okay? When's a payment company come over to Thailand and then embrace the industry and say, let's work together? I don't think that has been done before. I'm doing it, okay? Yeah. Financial services that may not be available to them otherwise. That's a big one. the key, as I say, is having me on location here in Pattaya, Thailand. And remember, my background and skills: computer and math science, high performance computing, 21 years in federal government, working at the cutting edge of science and technology. That's the missing vital ingredient to making everything else work, right? My personhood, the skills, knowledge, expertise that I bring to the table. And not just that, my willingness to work with these people, regardless of the impact that it has on my professional reputation, my social capital, because there's a lot of people out there who misunderstand what I'm doing, right? Just last night, I had a conversation with one of these people, and it becomes very, very frustrating. Having said that, professional people who are looking at what I'm doing, they can, they've figured it out, right? It's just that I've got a lot of people on my Facebook from the Philippines and from Thailand, and in particular, the Philippines seems to have problems when it comes to sex workers, and me being seen with them and understanding that, yes, this is work. It will be turned into a business. It's development work, right? I think I'm not going to go too much more into that, but it's just it can be very, very frustrating. Goal: to work on some smaller projects with the businesses in town whilst thinking up ideas together for larger projects to work on together, right? Well, there are several benefits to working with established businesses in Pattaya on small projects first, with an eye to doing larger projects together in the future. Number one, building relationships. Starting with small projects can help build relationships with established players and businesses in the city, which can be beneficial for future collaborations, right? It helps them, it helps me too. Two, gaining knowledge of the market. Working with established businesses in the city can give valuable insights into the local market, right? Which can help to better understand the needs of customers and tailor products or services to them accordingly. Three, building reputation. By working with established businesses, my business can gain credibility and build a reputation within the community, right? This can help me attract new customers and increase my visibility in the market. Of course, visibility in the market is very, very important. And the trust factor is very important as well. Four, leveraging existing networks. Established businesses in the city have existing networks of customers, suppliers, and partners that I can tap into to expand my reach. And that's really important as well. And of course, trust is a factor in that as well. In fact, trust is a factor in everything that I'm doing. It's very, very important. Cost savings. Collaborating with established businesses, there is the potential to share resources such as equipment, facilities, or personnel, and all the knowledge, skills, and experience that comes with personnel, which can help save on costs, right? I'm not the average person who comes to Pattaya, Thailand. Right? I know I'm not the average person who comes here. And the skills, knowledge, experience that I've got, I know that I can contribute and make a difference. Working with the people and the businesses that I choose to work with over here. Yeah, learning from experienced partners. Established businesses in the city have more experience and knowledge than I do. Working with them can help me learn from their experience and avoid common mistakes in my business. Access to funding. Established businesses may have access to funding that can help to finance and scale things up if we find ourselves in a fantastic position because of this open source project. Now, of course, I'm bringing over my own access to funding as well. As a startup founder, when I did my first startup, I didn't have any resources, right? We had to raise those resources from the market. This time is very, very different. I've come over here as a retired person living off a government pension and other assets with a Bitcoin stash, right? So I'm bringing over capital, I'm bringing over my intellectual capital, but I'm also bringing over my financial capital as well, right? So it's an important consideration, and that needs to be considered in any opportunity that I work on together with existing players here in Pattaya, Thailand. I guess one of the guys that I work with, a management consultant in Australia, he's an older gentleman. He was brought into school, a group of IT, science technologists, business managers and the like. Very, very interesting guy. Somebody I got along very well with. It's like that management consulting sort of skills that he had, he passed on to me. And I'm able to bring those to the table as well, to sit down with any business and consult at the management level, right? And I see myself as being, see that as a role that I can engage in over here to bring a whole lot of value to the table, right? A whole lot of value to the table. That training was crucial back in 2009, right? The federal government agency that I work for obviously had, I won't say it was an unlimited budget, but obviously it was a huge amount of money, right? And they could bring in the best of the best from the outside to help train us. Now, it's worth noting that a business, building a relationship with other business owners takes time. So small projects, right? Small projects can be a good way to start a conversation. It's important to be respectful and professional, to keep an open mind about potential opportunities for future collaborations, right? So you do a small project first, you see how that goes. Can we work together? Does this person have the skills, knowledge, and experience to work with us? Can this person add value? What value does this person add? How can this person help me achieve my goals as an established player here in Pattaya City, right? All that sort of stuff. Goal: to publicize on my YouTube channel the Bitcoin hot wallet creation process for the girls in Soy 6, whilst ensuring their identities remain a secret and to guard their privacy and security, right? Guard their privacy and security. We saw with the video I created with Ladyboy Oi the power of this, and as other people can learn about how to set things up in a secure manner, right? It was the video that I created taking Oi through the hot wallet creation process on her phone and setting her up as a self-sovereign sex worker, an independent self-sovereign sex worker with the non-custodial wallet on her phone. And of course, she's got custodial wallet on INTJ Billing, my company's infrastructure. Goal: to gain more subscribers and viewers for this YouTube channel, right? Thank you to everyone who is watching my videos. I very much appreciate that you're taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. Thank you for being a subscriber. Goal: to do this work at a point in time when most people don't really care or even see the opportunity, right? Which means we are first to market, to gain momentum, and then own and control the market, right? First to market. Being first to market with an innovative solution can bring several benefits to a company, right? Some of these include, firstly, establishing a strong market position. Being the first to introduce a new product or service can give a company a significant advantage in terms of market share and brand recognition, right? Setting industry standards. As the pioneer in a market, a company can set the standards for the industry and shape the way the market evolves. Establishing a strong market position, setting industry standards. Number 3, building customer loyalty. By being the first to provide a solution to a problem, a company can establish a loyal customer base that may be less likely to switch to competitors. Gaining a pricing advantage. As the first mover, a company may be able to charge a premium for its products or services, as there are no immediate competitors. Number 5, attracting investment and partners. Being first to market can make a company more attractive to investors and potential partners, as it demonstrates a level of innovation and risk-taking. When George Lucas, when he created Star Wars, there's a lot of people out there who are Star Wars fans. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a huge nerd like many obsessive Star Wars fans are. Got a lot of respect for what Lucas achieved. George Lucas, when he created it, he had the foresight to own the rights to merchandising, right? Which the studios didn't care about because nobody had made a lot of money before from movie merchandising. At the time, the very idea of making significant profits from merchandise related to a movie was not a common practice in Hollywood, right? And the studios did not place a high value on these rights. However, Lucas saw the potential for Star Wars to become a cultural phenomenon, and he wanted to ensure that he could control and profit from all aspects of the franchise. He established his own production company, Lucasfilm, which retained the rights to the Star Wars merchandise, including toys, clothing, and other products. And this proved to be a very wise move indeed. Right? As the Star Wars franchise went on to become one of the most successful and profitable in history, with merchandise sales accounting for a significant portion of the franchise's overall revenue. Star Wars merchandise is still a major source of income for Lucasfilm and Disney, which acquired Lucasfilm in 2012. Lucas's decision to retain the merchandising rights to Star Wars is now seen as a significant moment in the history of Hollywood, and an example of how owning intellectual property can be a valuable asset for a creator, right? Owning that intellectual property, valuable asset for a creator. Obviously, Star Wars, like the market for that is much higher than the market I'm working on this opportunity over in Pattaya, Thailand, but it's illustrative, right? That you've got a creator who had the insight, had more insight than the Hollywood studio to do something at a time that nobody else cared. These merchandising rights not worth that much. So very wise move. With this project, Bitcoin is for everyone. It's the control over the Bitcoin hot wallets. That's where the value is, right? Think about it. So control over those hot wallets. If I succeed in my goals this year, anyone who wants to send Bitcoin to a Thai bar girl in Soi 6 has to go through us and us alone. And we set the price for the conversion of Bitcoin to Thai baht. Now I see part of my job is to help show the bar owners in Pattaya what's possible when we own and control the girls' Bitcoin hot wallets. That's controlling them both on their phone as well as on INTJ Billing's server infrastructure. And I'm doing this at a time when most people don't know, don't care, and don't see the point in how we can profit from it, right? They just don't see it yet. All right. Now, in the advertising industry, back in the day, the rivers of gold for the newspapers were the advertising revenues, right? Here in the sex industry, the rivers of gold are the remittance payments to the girls from their overseas sponsors. I'm simply pointing out that, I'm pointing out that raging torrent, right? Here's a raging torrent. Pointing it out. I'm saying to the bar owners, hey, look closely, okay? Just over there, there's a new stream of water. A new stream of water, it's just starting, all right? Look at that new stream. And we can own that stream, okay? We can own it and shut out the other remittance companies, like Western Union and the like, at a time when they're not aware of when they're not fully aware of what's really happening. As I said, the stream is just a trickle at the moment, but it's getting stronger by the day as the Bitcoin Lightning Network grows. If we set things up right, we will own and we can tap the stream instead of the remittance companies like Western Union. So we will own the stream. And when Bitcoin has its Netscape moment and a piece of technology comes along that makes it extremely easy to use, right? Increase or improved user interfaces for Bitcoin hot wallets, whatever it might be, there'll be a key piece of technology that will come out and Bitcoin will have that Netscape moment. All right. When that happens, we've done the work to control this entire market. Okay. So we have the vision and the foresight, right? Have the vision and the foresight to set the bar girls up Bitcoin hot wallets and develop policies and procedures for our business and bring the bar owners together on this initiative, right? Now remember what the Netscape moment was in technology. Refers to the launch of Netscape Navigator, the web browser, back in 1994. I was around for that. I saw it happen. I saw the impact that Netscape had. I distinctly remember when it came out. At the time, the internet was still relatively new and niche technology, primarily used by academics and government researchers. However, with the release of Netscape Navigator, the internet began to be accessible to a wider audience, and the browser quickly became the dominant way for people to access and navigate the World Wide Web. Netscape Navigator was the first web browser to have a graphical user interface, or a GUI, making it, well, actually, I won't say it wasn't the first. So Netscape wasn't the first. There were other web browsers before it, like Mosaic. But Netscape was the real first one to really take everything by storm, right? And obviously, there were text-based browsers before that. But Netscape made it much more user-friendly. It also introduced several features that are now standard in web browsers, such as the ability to open multiple tabs and to bookmark websites. Additionally, Netscape Navigator was the first browser to support the newly developed HTML and JavaScript, which allowed for more interactive and dynamic websites. The launch of Netscape Navigator is widely considered to be a turning point in the history of the internet, right? A turning point. It's an important moment in time. It made the World Wide Web accessible and understandable to a mass audience, and it paved the way for the explosion of online commerce and communication that we see today. Bitcoin, of course, was a turning point in the history of money. BTC Pay is a turning point in the history of payment technologies. We can be ready and in the box seat for when Bitcoin has its Netscape moment. The remittances stream will be owned and told, just like a highway, by us, right? By us. I think it's really important to see that, okay? We get to control the market, working side by side with the bar owners, us, we together. That's all I really wanted to talk about in this video. I know it's been a long one. I hope that you've enjoyed it. All the best, everyone. I'm Clarke Towson, CEO of INTJ Billing.